Okay, let's talk about the MAR. So over on the left hand side you have your bands, and on your band there is an MAR. If you click on the MAR, it's going to pop up your MAR screen right here. Now it automatically goes in alphabetical order, so I want to talk about this gray bar right here. You'll notice that it says my date range and my time. I can always right click on a gray bar and change my search criteria. So I'm going to right click on the gray bar and change my search criteria, and I can sort by the next task that is due, and I can set it as my default. Once I do that, it will no longer be in alphabetical order, rather it'll be in a stair-step approach where my orders that are the meds that need to be given first are at the top and the ones that need to be given later are at the bottom. If you look over on the left hand side, you'll see that blue is scheduled, orange is unscheduled. Unscheduled are going to be more of your vaccines. PRN are going to be your as needed medications, normally for pain or for anxiety and blood pressure. And then you have continuous infusions. Now you'll notice that there are eyeglasses right here beside every medication. The nurse has to go in and they have to review those medications. You cannot review those medications. Once those meds are reviewed, then you can give those medications. If we're going to give a medication without being reviewed, that is up to the nurse, but there should be no reason why he or she would do that. Now, if you notice right here, there's a little mortar and pestle. That little mortar and pestle just means that medication has yet to be reviewed by pharmacy. That once again should be done by the nurse if they decide to bypass this because it's an emergency or they need it now. That's on them. If you want to request a new medication, you would right click on the medication and you can do a med request, and then you can choose the reason why you'd want the med request. If it's stat, you would put your reason in here and you would call the pharmacist. Another nice feature is that you can right click and you can hit reference manual, and when you hit reference manual it will pop up a screen with all the information on that drug. It even has an education leaflet in here that in English and in Spanish that we can print for the patient if we want to give them education. So right here, when I look in red, that means that my medication is overdue, or it would mean that it's in stat, but in this case it is in overdue. And then anything that's in blue right here just means that it's due, or that it's not overdue, or that it's a regular order. To administer a medication, I actually go to the medication administration button at the very top, and when I do that, it pops up this screen. Now you will always scan the patient's armband. I do not have an armband to scan, so I will be bypassing that, but you will never ever bypass that. Once you scan the patient's armband, you would have medications to scan, and you will go through and scan your medications, and you will have a blue check mark by the medications once they've been scanned. And once that's done, you'll go down here and hit sign.